The Tale of Rhy Shen, Chapter 3, Reflections. The cauldron in Thos's lab whistled, as if seized by a fever of excitement. This voice, calling itself M, was certainly not to be trusted, and yet something deep in Rhy Shen's chest pulled him irresistibly toward the chaotic flames, just as M had suggested. Without hesitation, he plunged headfirst into the huge furnace. His borrowed apron disintegrated instantly, pulverized to dust by the heat and brilliance surrounding him. Flames roared and twisted, licking his skin yet leaving him unharmed.
Rah! This is incredible!
The air shimmered with heat, bending reality around him. A low, vibrating hum pulsed through the chamber, while the flames twisted and writhed, girdling him like living metal.
I have never felt so alive.
Raw energy coursed through his veins, igniting and warming something that had been entirely cold before. But, again, it didn't take long before the mysterious voice of M completely disenchanted the moment.
What an incredibly foolish thing to say. How long have you lived exactly? You don't look older than 16. 16 is a very pathetic age to say things like that.
How did you know this would even work?
Rhy Shen flicked at tiny particles of black ash clinging to his skin, amazed by a shower of sparks around him.
Well. I had no clue if it would work. First time trying it here.
What? Grrr.
Hearing this, Rhy Shen's eyes flared, and the flames around him rose in kind. A dark tint bled into their glow, as if his fury had poisoned the light.
Are you fucking kidding me, M? I could have instantly died, you ass-fried, shit-sodden, goddamn...
Excuse me? I think the speech bug just burned out. I cannot hear you.
Unfucking believable.
You are the most unhinged little smug I've met in a long while, ghost boy Rhy Shen. Didn't you dive into the cauldron head first all on your own? Since you're obviously still alive and kicking, let's put that recklessness to good use, Look around. You should see some Ishi mirrors in the making in there.
Indeed, the inside of the oven was lined with 9 round pedestals, each crowned with a molten drop of reflective silver. In their shifting surfaces flickered fragments of other lives, fleeting visions of vast landscapes, walls of steel, blood, and calloused hands at work. Rhy Shen leaned closer and wondered in silence.
Wow. Funny how creatures on every star have always lived the same lives, just painted in different colors.
Well, I'll just ignore your bottomless exaggeration there. You are still new to sphere technology after all.
So you do still hear me, you fucking comedian.
Well, yes, maybe. So look, these Ishi mirrors are but humble echoes of the one at the table you so boldly spied upon. Their reach through space and time is weak, limited to the immediate neighborhood. Garbage, if you ask me. But, in a delightful twist, we actually have a use for this cheap-ass kind of Ishi mirror in our first little experiment. All you need to do is place a single hair into one of the molten drops. It shall bind the mirror instantly to something entangled deeply with your soul, which makes distance and time irrelevant.
So you think I can peek into my old life?
Those words rang like a promise to Rhy Shen, Since his arrival in this world, his thoughts had been consumed by the fate of his people. Perhaps M's experiment might finally reveal some clue of their whereabouts. Unfortunately, he didn't even see the true answer slipping past him, swallowed by the frenzy of his own thoughts.
And you didn't tell the alchemists I met earlier anything about this?
Ha ha ha! The poor deluded alchemists. They do not believe in this field of science. And so, they will fumble endlessly with these randomly focused Ishi mirrors, utterly useless in their hands. What exquisite irony! After all these years of labor, there are still forces of nature they cannot even begin to understand.
Rhy Shen's eyes flicked from mirror to mirror as he plucked a single black strand from his messy hair, just as M had instructed. He chose the mirror at the center, watching a figure light candles in a hall awash with light, and let his unflammable hair fall into it. The reflection in the mirror shifted instantly. Rhy Shen's hope to see Mio's face, his homeworld, and the people he had failed so utterly, nearly blinded him to what was actually there.
So, what do you see?
M's impatience was clear in every word.
Nothing. There is nothing.
In truth, it was less than nothing. Staring into the altered Ishi mirror felt like being stripped of perception at that very spot. After all, that was Rhy Shen's closure. Darkness. No hope, no mystery, no glory, no ending at all.
Nothing indeed. A disappointing void is all I can see from my vantage as well. It is remarkable, truly, how incredibly empty you are, kid.
Rhy Shen said nothing, letting M's words gnaw at him from the inside.
What binds you so tightly to the void? It seems like darkness courses through you to your very core. Perhaps this explains why the laughably weak sphere, which Bo Yang opened, produced you, instead of a full entity from a vibrant world.
From his vantage point beyond his own Ishi mirror, M could not perceive the subtle change in the cauldron. The flames around Rhy Shen darkened and cooled, as if drawing the heat from the white flames that danced around him.
But I clearly remember my people. Mio.
Do you remember their faces, or just a feeling? The mind can be tricky, you know.
Frustrated, Rhy tried stepping back to leave the inside of the cauldron. But something was wrong.
What the? Oof. Ah.
The metal wall wouldn't yield. His muscles coiled, eyes widening.
M, something's wrong. I can't get out.
The oven grid crackled with energy, ensnaring him in a lattice of molten metal and heat. Breathing hard, Rhy Shen gathered himself and focused on his surroundings, every nerve alight.
I don't know, kid. Well, at least you won't die in there, However, if you're still trapped when Thos arrives, we're in real trouble. If brute force fails, I'd try something weaker if I was you. Maybe the same way you came in, you panic-stricken, headless little chicken.
Rhy Shen glared at the air grid, fury burning in his eyes. This ominous M had a point there. Swallowing his pride, he focused on the grilled barrier and slipped into a wall of cold air. Sparks trailed behind him as he emerged into the lab, sooted in black, shallow on the inside, but alive.